On this day in 1966, Celtic beat Nantes 3-1 to go through to the quarter-finals of the European Cup. Celtic went into their European Cup tie against Nantes at Celtic Park on the 7th of December 1966, already 3-1 ahead from the first leg and looking to put on a show for the fans. The day before, what was already Scotland's most potent collection of forwards had been further strengthened by the signing of Willie Wallace from Hearts in a club record £30,000 deal. Wallace was ineligible for the match, but told the Evening Times that day, "Signing for Celtic is the greatest event in my football career. I have played senior football for Stenhousemuir, Raith Rovers and of course Hearts. Now I hope my wandering has ended. Although I can't play for Celtic tonight, I will be at Parkhead rooting for my new teammates." Unfortunately, the man Wallace had been signed to partner in what Jock Stein hoped would be the most devastating strike pair in Britain, Joe McBride, was out with a knee injury, which was not thought to be serious. How wrong that was would soon become apparent. On a typically wet and windy December night, Celtic lined up before a crowd of 41,000. Simpson, Gemmell, O'Neill, Murdoch, McNeil, Clark, Johnston, Gallagher, Chalmers, Auld, Lennox. Jock Stein had promised the fans Celtic would be looking to run up a big score after their first leg win, and things seemed to be going according to plan when Jimmy Johnston scored on 13 minutes. Running onto a through ball from Bobby Murdoch, Jinky drove a powerful shot past the keeper from a tight angle. But the expected flood of goals did not materialise. Glyn Edwards wrote in the Glasgow Herald on the 8th of December 1966, "It was not a performance by Celtic which will linger long in the memory. They looked a trifle complacent in their approach for long spells of the game, and that, coupled with a tendency to overindulge in front of goal, prevented them from capitalising on their obvious outfield superiority." Nantes regrouped after losing that early goal and managed to frustrate Celtic with an efficient offside trap. They began to launch attacks of their own, and 2 minutes after Kovacevic hit the post with Simpson beaten, they equalised on the night, the Yugoslav international playing a superb pass to Blanchet on the right wing, and his cross was swept home by Georgian on 36 minutes. 4-1 ahead on aggregate, Celtic were still jeered off the pitch at half-time by their frustrated fans. Just as had been the case in France, Celtic's superior fitness told on a heavy pitch, and they finally began to look more like themselves in the second half. Johnston was the provider on 55 minutes, sending over a cross from the right that was headed in by Steve Chalmers. In an almost identical move, with 12 minutes remaining, Johnston's low cross was met by Bobby Lennox, who scored from close in. Celtic were through to the last 8, and their hopes of winning the European Cup looked to have been boosted by Liverpool's shock 5-1 defeat to Ajax in a fog-bound Amsterdam that same evening. Willie Wallace could now look forward to making his Celtic debut against Motherwell a few days later. It was also hoped he would team up with McBride for the first time, the Evening Times reporting on the 8th of December. "Joe McBride, Celtic's other big money buy since Stein took over at Parkhead, could also be in the forward line against his former club." Report from the Celtic boss: "Joe's knee injury is not too serious. He could be available for Saturday's game. We will see how his knee is and what weather conditions are like before deciding." McBride was not risked on the Saturday, and sadly, he and Wallace only played 2 games together before his knee broke down after a match at Pittodrie on Christmas Eve, keeping him out of action for the next 12 months. We'll never know how good a partnership it could have been.